The morning was unusually quiet on Maple Street. A light mist floated above the sidewalks, and the sun peeked through the clouds, painting the sky with soft shades of orange and pink. Shop owners were just opening their doors, school buses were rumbling in the distance, and kids were walking in small groups toward Roosevelt Elementary. But suddenly, everything changed. A loud roar echoed down the road. One engine, then another, then 10 more. The ground vibrated. Birds scattered. People paused mid-walk. A group of massive bikers, dressed in black leather jackets, heavy boots, and helmets covered in flames and skull designs, rode slowly into the street like a powerful wave of thunder. Their presence demanded attention. Some adults stepped back. Some kids whispered nervously, but none of them expected what happened next. Out of nowhere, a 7-year-old black girl appeared at the corner, clutching her pink backpack against her chest. She took one shaky breath, then ran toward the bikers. Her tiny voice rose above the engines. "Stop! Please! Help me!" The bikers instantly braked. Engines went silent. The leader, a tall man with a thick beard and arms covered in tattoos, swung his leg off the bike. He crouched down, confusion and concern in his eyes. "What's wrong, little one?" The girl hesitated. Her lips trembled. She glanced behind her, as if expecting someone to jump out. "My name is Ariella," she whispered, her voice cracking. I don't want to walk to school alone anymore." The biker's expression softened. "Why not?" Ariella looked down. Tears fell onto her shoes. "Because some big kids, they hide behind the fence every morning. They push me, call me names, say I don't belong. Yesterday, they took my lunch. They threw my notebook in the mud. And today, I'm scared they'll hurt me again." A painful silence followed. The bikers exchanged glances. Not the usual confident, fearless looks they shared on the road, but ones filled with anger, empathy, and heartbreak. Tank, the leader, placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "No kid should face that alone. Not today. Not ever." Ariella wiped her tears. "I didn't know who else to ask. Everyone is scared of you, so maybe the bullies will be scared too." Tank smiled. Not a scary smile, but a warm one. "You're braver than all of us, kiddo. Asking for help, that takes real courage." The other bikers nodded, some with misty eyes. That single moment, her tiny voice echoing into the morning air, changed everything. Ariella stood surrounded by the group of bikers, unsure if she had done the right thing. These men were known around town for their intimidating presence. People often assumed they were troublemakers or rebels. But she didn't know the truth yet. Tank motioned to the rest of the group. "Everyone, gather up. This little warrior has something to tell us." Ariella hesitated, but the kind look in his eyes encouraged her to speak. "They bully me every day because I look different from them," she whispered. "They say I shouldn't walk on their street. They say I don't belong in their school." Moose, a huge biker built like a mountain, clenched his fists. "No child gets to hear that. Not on our watch." Then something surprising happened. Moose reached into his saddlebag and pulled out a tiny leather vest, custom-made for kids they helped through charity events. He knelt and held it out. "This is for you. It means you're one of us now." Ariella's eyes widened. She ran her fingers across the emblem. A silver shield with wings spread wide. Tank explained softly, "We're part of a group called the Guardians on Wheels. We protect people. We help families. And we always stand up for the ones who need us most." Ariella had never imagined bikers like these existed. Tank smiled gently. "You asked for help like a hero. And heroes don't walk alone." He looked at the group. "Mount up. We're taking her to school." A cheer erupted. Engines started. Helmets went on. This wasn't just an escort. It was a promise. A promise that her days of fear were over. A promise that she would never walk alone again. A promise that someone powerful had her back. As Moose helped her put on the little vest, he said, "You're family now, kid. And when family calls, we show up." Her fear slowly melted into hope. The engines rumbled awake one by one, turning Maple Street into a living heartbeat. People peeked out of shop windows, wondering why a whole biker club was preparing for something so early in the morning. But the moment they saw Ariella climbing on a Moose's bike, her tiny hands gripping his vest, her little feet dangling, they understood. Something special was happening. Tank pointed forward. Guardians. Formation. The bikers moved like a well-trained unit. 2 at the front, 2 at the back. The rest surrounding Ariella like a protective circle. A little girl guarded by giants. As they rolled down the street at a slow, steady pace, the scene became magical. The roar of engines wasn't frightening anymore. It was powerful, warm, and full of love. Everywhere they passed, people stopped to watch. A fruit vendor put down his crate and whispered, "Is that an escort?" A mother pushing a stroller smiled through tears. "Look at her. She's not scared anymore." Kids walking to school cheered. Some high-fived the bikers. Others waved at Ariella. For the first time, she felt seen, not as a target, not as an outsider, but as a girl who mattered. As they approached the school, the gates came into view. And there, standing exactly where Ariella had pointed earlier, were the 3 bullies. Their confident smirks disappeared instantly. The closer the bikers got, the more terrified the boys became. Their backpacks slipped off their shoulders. One even dropped his phone. The motorcycle stopped right in front of the school entrance. Tank got off his bike slowly. The boys shrank back. He looked down at them, not with anger, but with a stern, fatherly disappointment. "You've been picking on someone smaller than you. That ends now." The oldest boy tried to speak. We were just..." Moose stepped forward, towering over them like a moving wall. "Don't bother lying. We know what you've been doing." Tank knelt so he could look directly into their eyes. "You see that little girl behind me?" he said. She faced her fear and stood up to protect herself. "That makes her braver than any of you." The boys looked at Ariella, who stood quietly between the bikers. She wasn't crying. She wasn't trembling. For the first time, she looked strong. Tank continued, "If you bother her again, you'll be dealing with all of us. And trust me, nothing scares us more than a kid being hurt." The boys nodded furiously. But something unexpected happened next. A group of students who had been watching began to clap. The applause grew louder and stronger. Teachers looked out of classroom windows. Even a security guard smiled proudly. Ariella walked through the gate with her new family behind her. And for the first time ever, she felt safe. After the bullies scattered, the bikers escorted Ariella to the principal's office. Not to get anyone in trouble, but to make sure her voice was finally heard. Principal Harris, a woman in her 50s with gentle eyes, stood up in shock when she saw the group. "Oh my goodness, what on earth?" Tank raised a hand politely. "We're here for Ariella. There's something you need to know." Ariella climbed into the chair across from the principal. Her legs dangled above the floor. She looked nervous again, but this time, she wasn't alone. Tank encouraged her. "Take your time, kiddo. We're right here." Ariella took a deep breath. "Miss Harris, I told my teacher about the boys. Twice. She said to ignore them, but they pushed me. They took my things. They told me I don't belong here because I'm different." The principal froze. A look of guilt washed over her face. "Ariella, why didn't your teacher tell me?" "I don't know," she whispered. "I think she thought I was exaggerating." The room fell silent. Tank leaned forward. No child should ever feel unsafe walking to school, and no report of bullying should ever be ignored. Moose crossed his arms. "She showed us more courage than most adults. She asked strangers for help because she felt like no one else was listening." Principal Harris swallowed hard. "You're right. We failed her." She immediately called the teacher in, along with the school counselor. Discussions began. New rules were created. Anti-bullying workshops were scheduled. The teacher apologized tearfully to Ariella. "We should have protected you," she said. "I'm so sorry." But the biggest moment came when the principal turned to Tank and asked, "Will you continue helping her?" Tank smiled. "As long as she needs us." Ariella looked up in shock. "Every day, every single morning," Moose replied. "Your family now." Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they were tears of relief. The principal thanked the bikers sincerely. But Tank reminded her, strength doesn't come from muscles or engines. It comes from listening, from protecting, from standing with the ones who feel alone. Ariella hugged him tightly, and the big, tattooed man, who looked like he could lift a car, closed his eyes, holding her gently. She had changed them, too. The next morning, something unbelievable happened. The entire town waited on their porches, sidewalks, and shop doors just to witness the moment Ariella and the bikers appeared again. Tank rode at the front, Moose beside him. The other guardians on wheels followed close behind. And in the center, wearing her little leather vest, was Ariella, sitting proudly like a tiny queen on a throne. But this time, they weren't alone. Parents walked alongside them. Other kids joined in, carrying handmade signs that said, "Stand up for each other. Kindness is power. No more bullies." Local news vans parked near the school, cameras rolling. Reporters whispered, "Who is this brave little girl? What did she do to earn a biker escort?" Ariella stepped off the bike. Reporters swarmed. "Why did you ask bikers for help?" one asked. Her answer shocked everyone. "Because people say these men look scary, but they were the first ones who listened." Tank placed his hand gently on her shoulder. "And sometimes," he added, "the smallest person has the loudest courage." Over the next weeks, the school transformed. Students who once ignored bullying now stood against it. Teachers became more alert. New rules were strictly enforced. The three bullies eventually apologized, truly apologized, and even wrote her letters explaining how wrong they had been. Ariella wasn't just safe. She was admired, respected, loved. She no longer needed an escort after a while, but the bikers visited every Friday just to check in, just to make her smile. And every time she heard the distant rumble of their motorcycles, she ran to the gate with excitement. The town changed because of her. The school changed because of her. People's hearts changed because of her. All because a little girl found the courage to speak up, and because a group of strangers chose to stand beside her when she needed it most.